Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Today we have got Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. We are going to do a computer simulation of the fight that has just been signed by both of these guys. Actually sort of 15, 16, 17 years too late, but I am still excited about watching this fight when it comes on pay-per-view is what they're going to do. They're going to do it over 8 rounds. I believe they're going to have head guards and bigger gloves, but we are going to do the computer simulation with no head guards and just normal gloves. With me I've got Damien, who's joined me before on some of our fight discussions, and we're going to do the commentary on this fight. Neither of us are playing, it's actually the game that's working out the result. We're just going to comment on what we see. So welcome Damien.
Hello there, nice to be here. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, this fight could have actually happened around 2004. Roy Jones Jr. was WBA champion, beat John Ruiz. Mike Tyson had come off a defeat against Lennox Lewis, so back in 2004, this could have been a reality.
It would have been a great fight.
It would have been a superb fight, yeah.
So I've picked a venue with no crowd, as because there won't be much of a crowd when they fight because of the COVID rules. So hence why we've gone into this sort of indoor gym. There you go.
Here we go.
Tyson comes straight out there on the attack. The ref's in the way there.
Yeah.
I think most people are expecting Tyson to come out quickly and to try and knock him out, I would say.
Yeah, I'd expect if this is a simulation or anything like the real thing, Jones Jr. will possess the skill and the speed, the technique, with the raw power and the aggression. We've seen some of the videos on YouTube.
Oh,
straight away.
He's got him already.
Big punch already, and that's what we've seen from
this could be a short
from
video.
Tyson in some of his
He's
training.
going for him.
He's still got that power, still got the speed.
He's covered up well there. I thought he was on the way down.
Yeah, held onto the ropes nicely.
So I think the longer this goes on, as long as he doesn't get knocked out, Roy Jones should be able to use his sort of skill as a boxer. That's what I'm thinking about the real fight when it will happen.
Caught him there.
Oh, he's got
Stunned him.
He's got him.
Stunned Tyson there. Just took a moment out just to regroup himself.
A few years out of the gym, out of the ring, he's not used to taking punches to the head.
No.
And there it was. He's been smoking weed, $40,000 of weed a month. That's got to affect both his lungs and everything really, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's got to affect the timing perhaps and the reactions, but you never know. He's still got the power.
So a peak Mike Tyson, we're talking 1989. We're now in 2020. That is a long time since we've seen the peak Mike Tyson. But Roy Jones Jr., he's had a slower descent, but they are both faded.
Yeah, I'd still say Jones Jr. sort of peak, not much beyond that, probably about mid-90s, 95, 96, 97 sort of era. So both of them a good 20 years plus past their best, but still going to put a show on for everyone.
But Mike Tyson's had a stem cell treatment and he feels like a new man.
Well, we'll see on the night what happens. I mean, here he's looking pretty good in the simulation so far. They've both had some good exchanges. Tyson not really going for any sort of build-up. I think every punch he's throwing, he's just trying to floor his man.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think, obviously, it's been a long time since he's been in the ring, and Roy Jones he's been having quite a few fights over in Russia and stuff, hasn't he?
He is Russian citizen. A few years back, he got that sorted out.
That's why I haven't based this simulation in Russia, because I reckon he might just get the decision.
He's down!
There he goes!
Tyson goes down.
He's got to get up now.
Body shot.
He's up.
Up at 5, ready to
I think
go.
he's okay. It might just last to the end of the round, but that's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, didn't expect that one.
Yeah, if that happens in the real fight, that would be ace, just to set it alight.
Yeah. Incredible body shot from Jones Jr. there.
They reckon it's an exhibition, but I can't see these two guys thinking, right, we're just going to go easy. There's the end of the first half. I think Jones got that first round there.
Yeah, I think in reality they say exhibition, but as soon as one of them fields a punch, the other one will want to give it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll just build from there.
Yeah, because they're legends at the end of the day, and it's bragging rights.
It's pride, isn't it? And,
absolutely. There's something for the dads there.
I'm not sure that'll be there on the night.
Unless she's got a mask on, she's not going to be there. The COVID rules are wrecking boxing. We seem to be spending longer on the ring time, girl, than we are on the actual fight.
Yeah, right then.
We're back in round two.
Round two, here we go.
As you can see, Roy Jones Jr. in the Grant gloves, in the blue and the white. And also he's got some Roy Jones Jr. Jordan boots on, which I've reviewed. Absolutely beautiful those are.
Yeah. Nice kit he's got on. The classic Everlast there for Tyson.
Yeah. And he's no socks, and his leather boots, and his black shorts. And
I think we've got the authentic badge on the leg as well.
I've reviewed a pair of them shorts as well.
Yeah.
I haven't reviewed any of those boots.
No. It's a good exchange of this. Jones seems to be counter punching.
He's using his boxing skill. He knows that he can't just stay there and get hit by the big shots. Oh, that was a lovely
beautiful
shot.
lift up from Tyson.
Hands were down.
Not a lot of jabs coming out from Tyson, but that's probably what I'd expect. Just every hook and punch thrown, uppercuts, trying to send his man to the canvas.
Oh, lovely little jabs in there. Roy Jones has got to be, just got to be careful.
That was close.
Because the last thing to leave a boxer is his punch. That's what they say.
Absolutely.
So Tyson, even though he's been out of shape at one point massively, he's been obviously smoking weed, as I said, excessively, but he's still got that puncher's chance. And everyone's seen these like little clips that he's been doing, and he does, for a few seconds he looks awesome. But can he do that for 8 rounds?
I think every man over 50 for a few seconds looks awesome.
Well,
and reality kicks in.
Yeah, and I think he's got to catch him early, hasn't he? In the actual fight, he's got to catch him early.
Yeah.
And Roy Jones Jr., I think as long as he sort of boxes and keeps out of the way, he could pull off like a bit of an upset. Because he was on YouTube saying sort of everyone's expecting him to be the underdog.
No, to be honest, I mean, Jones Jr. has been active for far longer, and it's been far more recent that he's actually had like top professional fights. So even though his skills may be jaded, he's been in the ring a lot more recently. I mean, Tyson, we're looking at 15 years, I think 2005, his last fight, Kevin McBride. So it's been a long time out the ring.
And what about Roy Jones Jr.? He has had some bad knockouts.
He has, later in his career. Antonio Tarver, Enzo Macronelli. A few really serious one-punch knockouts where he went to the canvas and not a lot of movement from him. So he's going to cover up against Tyson, that's for sure.
And people obviously they're a bit worried about the health of these guys at the age they are. And it has to be said that as you get older, the ability to take punches does decrease. So I think that's something that at the end of the fight that they have, you really do want them to both come out safe and healthy. But that still doesn't stop me wanting to watch the fight. I don't know whether it's because COVID has meant that I've been starved of fights. But I am really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's similar for many years. There was this discussion whether you would have Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank, a third fight between them. And obviously they're in their early 50s, a very similar age. And that fight was due to materialise, and you saw both of them training and in immaculate shape for their age, very ripped, superb diet and conditioning, but the fight for whatever reason just didn't materialise. So this is something now, maybe watching this, they'll go back to the chalkboard and reconsider.
Well, maybe. I mean, Nigel Benn was on about coming back and he got injured, didn't he? So whether or not that's just him for good, but he was going to fight Beaker, wasn't he?
That's correct,
And Beaker, he's a rough dude, he was. So I don't think that was a good fight for him to come back to.
No. So you've heard this, quite accurate to say that there's headguards and larger gloves. I didn't realise that. Yeah.
Well, they're going on the exhibition thing.
Right.
Obviously, he's had stem cells, so I don't think that'll be allowed in any sort of proper boxing match.
No.
Also, as he was signing the paperwork yesterday, he was smoking a spliff. So again, any sort of drugs, he would fail if it was a proper contest.
Sure.
So again, I still think that they're going to take it more serious than a little spar. I hope so anyway. If it's pay-per-view, then you want some entertainment.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you think people might be watching it just because it's the names of Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson, but really the guys in the ring, people are trying to rewind the clock. But Oh, there's a part of me that wants them both to come out and be in absolutely great shape and great.
great sort of skills and wind back the clock a little bit. I know that's not going to happen,
No.
but still part of me that wants to.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, and there'll be odd flashes of brilliance, but
Yeah.
it won't be anything sustained.
I mean, Tyson's in great shape.
Nice shot there, nice one.
Or physically, it looks like he's in great shape.
Yeah, the videos of him doing sort of pad work and a bit of bag work, and that he's still got some great speed about him, some great movement and rolls.
And Roy Jones Jr. has never been out of shape, really.
No, that's one thing he has been. He's always been conditioned. He's always been in great shape.
Oh, lovely jab there. He looks tired on here. Look.
Yeah, goes like we'll see.
Like,
Desperate left up there from Tyson.
Looks like he's in The Walking Dead. And we may get to this stage where they're both sort of looking very tired in comparison to what we're used to.
It's unusual seeing Tyson walking backwards and then putting himself in the corner.
Yeah, that very well might be the case where he has to take a bit of a breather. Because that style that Tyson's got, that movement style coming forward, moving your head, although it's very effective, it's also very draining.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy up.
He's 55 now, I think.
Oh, great shot.
Oh, good shot.
Great shot from Tyson.
He's not got enough to follow it up, though.
Again, Jones goes into the ropes, but comes back.
But Tyson 1989 would have followed that up then.
Yeah.
But he saw it and then he stepped back, had a little breather. Jones is just trying to pot shot him now.
Yeah, similar to the job he did on Larry Holmes. Remember, as soon as Holmes got against the ropes, Tyson didn't let him get out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
again, was he about 38?
I think Larry Holmes was 40 on that fight.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. I think he was 40.
Yeah, and even 40, he was well past it, wasn't he?
Well, again, first round was brilliant. On his toes, flicked out the jab, like the old Larry Holmes that we always knew in the 80s. And then after the first round, that was it, and Tyson just caught up with him.
Yeah.
And then, it was quite a nasty knockout in the end. The guy was out cold.
Yeah. Coming up to round 4. This girl's worked hard.
Yeah, she's getting her money's worth there.
Let's go.
I'd really like Don King to promote this fight that's coming up.
Yeah.
Just wheel him out. I know that he's had his differences, and I know that he'd probably take 90% of the money off these guys. But just for old time's sake, for Don King to be in there.
Just to see him there.
I'm sure Eddie Hearn would probably want a piece of the action.
No. Is it self-promoted then? Do you know who's put forward the promotion?
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure who it is. Both having a little bit of a breather in this round.
A lot more thinking going on now.
Yeah.
Picking the shots. Oh, beautiful.
Lovely shot. Lovely shot. Oh, that's it.
That's it. Now
he needs to push on now.
Lovely
Push on.
hook.
He's covering up.
No, he's normally finished his man, but he's letting Jones get back into this.
And he turned away on the ropes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Good body shots though.
Nice.
Yeah. That Philly shell Jones has got there, that defensive style.
Yeah.
The crossover of the arms. Tyson defence just very tight, just both gloves held tightly together under his chin.
And that
when he's in that guard position.
Peekaboo style.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a bit slower than the Mike Tyson of old, of course.
Yeah.
So I've tried to reflect it in some of the skills and all of the stamina and things on the game. So these are not peak. I've tried to sort of dull them down a little bit without it turning into a snooze fest. But it's been quite good so far.
Yeah, it's quite entertaining. There's some good shots. I think so far from what we've seen, Jones has been in more trouble than Tyson has. And even though Tyson went down, Jones has been rocked about 3 times now, I'd say. So it'll be interesting how the cards have got this one.
Still, Tyson goes back. Oh, lovely shot to the body. Oh, he's having a breather.
Yeah, thinking about it.
A bit of a standoff, like in some of the white collars that you see where they circle each other and look at each other for a little while.
Yeah.
But then in those fights, normally the big massive haymakers come in.
Yeah. There's not a huge amount of jabbing going on. It's just every punch is meant to finish the man.
Good shot there. So in the actual fight, this sort of time now, if it goes this many rounds, this could be where Jones Jr. is able to just start to use his skills as a boxer, take advantage of the fact that Tyson, although he looks good on the pads, he's not physically ready for 8 rounds. I'm glad they've done 8 rounds, because I think if they'd have done if they'd have done say 3 or 4,
Yeah.
he's tired. Tyson
He's
is tired.
taking deep breaths there.
If they'd done 3 or 4, I think that was really more in the favour of Tyson. But the fact it's 8, I think that's to even it up a little bit. They recognise they're not going to do 12.
No. Yeah, I certainly think the back in the day, and even now, the earlier rounds is going to be Tyson's advantage, and the later we go, the boxing skills will sort of come through for Jones Jr. and I'll start to showcase a little bit.
And Jones Jr. has been doing some work with Chris Eubank Jr.
Oh right, okay.
So he's been showing him a few moves. I saw that.
Yeah.
Breathe, relax. How you feeling out there? Now, you're not winning this fight, mate.
Oh,
You're not winning.
Oh, you see.
some harsh words from his corner.
Yeah.
Punch out there.
Well, they look at the stats there, the stamina. Their percentages are very similar on the stamina, 32 against 31.
He's probably trying to G him up.
Yeah. So we're going into round 5 now, are we?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's what's coming up. Not too much damage to the face. They're looking in fairly good shape.
And very calm in that corner. They
Yeah.
don't seem too overly concerned.
Nice jabs there. Some nice work from Jones Jr. Head and body.
I've always, look at them the boots. I've always loved them boots. They're not that practical. The Roy Jones Jr. boots. They're a bit hard in the sole, to be fair, but the way they look, absolutely great. Get out the way, ref.
Are they more of a basketball boot, or they are a boxing boot?
They are a boxing boot. They were designed, I think, by Roy Jones Jr. And I do love the style in all the different colours. Very rare now for you to get hold of them.
Yeah.
I had a couple of pairs, but as I say, not as comfortable as your Hyper KOs. He's got him up the corner here.
Needs to get out of that corner.
Still got that
Still
nice
moving away.
guard. He's catching a lot of those punches.
Yeah, Tyson looks tired now with that little bit of a spell of throwing some punches out and
Hands
just taking
down.
a breather.
He spent too long in the movie industry, or he's actually making a lot of money here, isn't he, from his weed farm?
His weed farm makes a huge amount of money, yeah. Yeah, it does.
So he's gone from bankruptcy to he did his one-man show. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube as well. And then he was in cartoons as well. The Mike Tyson Mysteries, which is a bit like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So he's turned his hand to quite a few things.
Yeah, he stayed industrious. But,
Well, he had no money at one point, so he had to get some money.
yeah, he had to do something. Obviously, boxing wasn't an option, but he seems to have gone back to where he started.
He lost, was he 300 million he had at one point?
It's somewhere in that kind of figure. Yeah, it's an extreme amount. I mean, it's I don't know how you could lose that much money and how you could spend it or what you could buy for that, but it seemed to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice body work there from Tyson. Just trying to keep his man off him.
Let's get rid of the white tigers. They got to cost a pretty penny.
Yeah, I
White
think they
tigers.
have, yeah.
Get a normal dog.
Yeah. What burger arm? I can imagine breaking in the house and there's a white tiger
White
there.
tiger.
Yeah.
Not expecting that.
You'd find out how fast you were right there and then. Nice work from Jones Jr. just popping out the backhand over the top of Tyson's guard.
So how much is pay-per-view worth for this fight?
I've not seen the figures or know how much it's going to cost. I mean, I couldn't imagine paying 20 English pounds or 20-25 for a normal title fight. I mean, if it's pay-per-view, I'd think it'll be about 10 pounds UK, so that'd be 12 to 13, 14 US dollars. But
You reckon?
I'd miss probably a lot more than that.
And it depends who they've got on the undercard as well, or they both look tired here.
Yeah.
Throwing volume, he's thinking, I've had it.
Yeah, stamina still around 30, 20%, round 6 coming up. Yeah, I don't know if their fight is in the middle of like a professional bout and there's like title fights or anything that's scheduled for actual world title belt competitions, or it's a complete exhibition tournament and it's they're just slotted in somewhere.
Yeah, just headlining. They might get some other fights on there.
Yeah.
Because when this sort of thing happens, a lot of the time, other boxers are going to be interested. But you know, you'll have your Riddick Bowes and your James Tonys.
Yeah, I can imagine people will be watching this one. Well, Evander Holyfield, of course, is making similar claims that he's coming back and he's training hard, and he's been training with Vladimir Klitschko. He's been saying, he's been doing bag work and pad work with Vladimir Klitschko, who's still in really, really good shape. So there's a lot of rumours around him of making a comeback too. So who knows what we're going to see in 2021.
Hopefully more boxing than we've seen this year.
Yeah, with less sort of clinical precision around it, like a doctor's surgery, but needs must.
But you can hear the punches. There was obviously we watched that one the other week where you can actually hear the punches because there is no crowd. Yeah, there's a lot more sound coming through that before you never heard, especially from the corners too. Instructions to the boxers, which I think is quite interesting, but I don't think you can beat the crowd, having that big crowd there.
Good job that punch missed there.
It's good entertaining fight. If they're real fights like this, they're well worth the...
I hope it is, we've had 6 rounds so far.
Oh, hold on. Somebody put 50 pence back in the meter.
Yeah, that's
the lights went out.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both tired.
Yeah.
Who's going to win this?
They're just looking for pot shots now, just trying to get through the guard.
He's calling him on.
Some good exchanges, but they are taking their time now.
Good head movement by Tyson, but no end result with the punches.
No killer finish so far. He's had his man in trouble a few times, but then he just hasn't followed it up.
Just hitting the air at the minute. Who would you want to win? Not this, but the actual real fight.
I'd love to see Tyson just do something devastating in the first couple of rounds. But I think that's probably what a lot of people are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reality, I think it's going to go the way this is going. It'll be Jones on points.
Yeah. If that happens, I think that will encourage him to go on, and I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, because eventually it depends if he's just going to do more exhibitions or he's going to actually step up and take it really seriously.
Yeah.
But then again, it's his own saying. Is you have a plan, and someone smacks you in the face, and then everything changes. So who knows how far this journey is going to go?
At the minute, he's being stalked by Jones Jr.
Yeah, just
picking him off,
popping him off. Sort of sniper shots. No great huge combinations, just ones and twos here and there, breaking down the guard.
So I would obviously Roy Jones is pretty much finished. But if Tyson did come back and went against a current heavyweight, what sort of standard heavyweight could he beat? British level?
Yeah, I think anyone top 10 is just beyond him, and I don't think you should consider that. Because I think for those few moments, or maybe 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, and he's got a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I think those guys are going to know that and cover it well, keep him at distance.
Do a Danny Williams.
Just sort of smother him.
Yeah.
And then tire him down, lean on him, and then it's game over.
Because that's what they were doing towards the end of his career, wasn't it? They were literally knowing that he's going to get past 3 rounds and you've got a chance.
Yeah.
And he towards the end, of course, he was quite a dirty fighter.
Yeah. I mean, similar to you think of the fights going back to 2002 with Lennox Lewis. First round was explosive. Tyson came out like the old 1989 Tyson, bobbing and weaving, throwing bombs from all angles. And then we got into the second round, and it was just a jab fest from Lennox Lewis, and just broke him down and finished it off. And I think it was the 8th round he stopped him. But if that was 18 years ago, then 1 or 2 rounds, Tyson's going to be there.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we're going to see something similar to this, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just a pity that sort of peak Tyson. I think the lifestyle and everything sort of really just got on top of him.
Yeah.
And he wasn't training as hard. He was playing around a little bit more. And I read his book, and it was just full of drugs and women. To be fair, I was looking for more boxing in there, but
it was more about his life.
It was more about his life, and it was a wonder he could actually get in the ring. He was doing that much partying.
Yeah.
But as I say, I was a bit disappointed with the book.
Great
lovely shot at the end.
Again.
He's got him. He needs to follow this up because he could win this here.
That's the 4th time now.
He's looking for it. He's waiting. He's waited too long.
Yeah.
He's waited too long.
One that's lost again.
Yeah. And I don't think it's ability. It is literally breath that would stop him doing that.
Jones again regathers himself. Some nice combinations, gets himself out of trouble.
I mean, part of me, the boxer part of me, does want Jones to put on a masterclass of boxing to show how to deal with sort of the forward rushing sort of power puncher. But of course, there's also another part of me that does want to see Tyson do his thing, which is devastating knockout. As I say. But then you do want these guys to be all right. It's a tough old sport.
Great shot.
Lovely shot. It's a tough old sport when they're young. Roy Jones, 51, I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, both in excess of 50 plus change. So these guys have got to consider their health as well. But I think the boxer's pride, the fighter's pride, will let them carry on.
Yeah. I think people are generally sort of probably 10 years younger than they are anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was young, somebody who was 50 was done.
Yeah.
Now you got guys who are 60 who are in great shape.
Yeah. I think from my youth, looking people that were forward 20, 30 years, seemed old. But now approaching that sort of age myself and how fit and strong I feel, there's a different mentality these days.
Yeah, and more is known about training and nutrition and everything. Bit of respect there at the end, weren't they?
Yeah.
They both just stood up, looked at each other.
Yeah.
The respect is there, and that's the beauty of boxing. And you don't realise until you get in there that respect that you earn, even when you're sparring with somebody. To exchange them blows, I've got many good friends from punching people in the face and receiving punches back, which is a really weird concept, but it is great.
Yeah, if you go through a war together and you go through hardships, you come out the other side.
Yeah. It's a different kind of sort of respect.
Here we go, last round.
Last round. Are we going to go to points, or is it going to be a last round stoppage?
Nice left hook straight away from Tyson.
He's going to give it his all now for the last 2 minutes.
Fly off.
3 minutes, sorry. Yeah, here we go.
Working that jab a bit.
Good, look how he's moving. He's suddenly got a new lease of life. There you go. Oh.
Nice, popping the jab.
Yeah. Oh, just missed his whiskers with that right hand. Just trying to keep him away. Again.
Stalking his man again, Jones.
This game has been out about 10 years, and I know people are crying out for another game. There is another game that's coming out at Christmas. Steel City Boxing is going to be coming out, and they're signing up lots of different boxers, and I know Empire Pro Tape is something to do with it as well. So that's something to look forward to for the boxing fans. In the new UFC game, I think Joshua and Fury is in it. I'm not sure about Wilder, but they're in a new UFC game. But true boxing fans have been buying UFC games because of the boxers. I know the last one had Tyson in.
That's right.
We're just waiting for another boxing game. It's been too long. EA Sports, you've let yourself down. You could have bought one out every single year and I'd have bought it.
Absolutely. I've been buying the EA, the NFL, the Madden series for a long time.
Is that still going on?
They're out year upon year. Same as the FIFA come out every year. For some reason, the boxing has just stood still.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because it was a popular game.
Very popular game, and to get a revitalised version of this with the current heavyweights today, it would just sell out instantly.
It'd be brilliant. If anybody from EA Sports is watching,
please.
Fight Night Champion 2. See, I've even given you the new title there.
Yeah. All great shot there. Come on, guys.
Look at these.
Let's see a strong finish.
It's the last stanza. Backing off. He
comes forward again. Good left up there.
Yeah, lovely.
Whistled it in.
And this has been a good, entertaining fight. Got to be worth £12 English on anybody's pay-per-view. This, if they come out and say it's like 30 or something, obviously that's not going to sell.
No.
But the build up to it, the build up to this fight is going to be superb in the next few weeks. All the training footage and the build up will be amazing. just because of the personalities of the two. You've got Roy Jones and he's sort of, you almost have forgot sort of mantra that he's had for many years. And then obviously Mike Tyson, everyone's still watching Mike Tyson highlights now.
Yeah. Yeah, despite all he's been through, he's still the sort of baddest man on the planet.
Yeah, he's still well liked,
was given to him 30 years ago. And there we go.
There you go. Look at that. A standoff.
Now then.
Let's see who's got this. Who gets a decision? Roy Jones Jr. gets a decision. Yeah, that was a good fight though. Good fight.
It was competitive, it was close.
Judges' scorecards
1 point in it all the way down.
75, 76, 75 and 76, 75. Unanimous decision for Roy Jones Jr. versus Iron Mike Tyson over that 8 rounds. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really good. Without sort of chew the fat over the upcoming fight, which I was amazed that they've actually sort of signed that fight, because I was thinking that Tyson may just come back and fight, say, a 40-year-old journeyman pro and knock him over, but he shows the ambition still there that he wants to sort of sign a fight against a legend, a fellow legend, Roy Jones Jr. So that was absolutely superb. Just some stats at the end there of what happened, but that was great, Damien. Really enjoyed that. But Roy Jones Jr. on points, will that be the result? I think it'll either be Roy Jones Jr. on points or Mike Tyson knocking him out early. What about yourself?
Yeah, I pretty much think the way that simulation is gone, that's how I would have got it before this happened, and for the fight for real, I'll go Jones Jr. on points. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that. Something different from another channel. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon.